Hey everybody, Terry Daniel, voice actor and coach from Minneapolis. I hope you're doing well. That's right, I decided to shave just for this video. Why shave? We're voice actors who work from the comfort of our own home. Half the time I'm sitting here in flannel pajama pants. Well, maybe in the wintertime. Today I have like running shorts on. But that's the beauty of being a voice actor and working from home. You can really wear whatever you want, and shaving is really optional. Now, if this was a talent agency gig and I had to go to an off-site studio, I would probably try to look a little more presentable. Today I want to invite you in on an actual voiceover gig. Now, for those of you who don't know, I do a lot of theme park announcements for various theme parks around the country, and Stone Mountain Park in Atlanta, Georgia is a very loyal client of mine. I've worked with them for over 7 years. If you've never been there, please take a road trip. It's a gorgeous place to take your family. They do a killer laser light show. That mountain is gorgeous. In the wintertime, they turn it to Snow Mountain. Lots of fun things for you and the kids to do. And then occasionally you'll hear my voice come through the PA system in and around the park with rules and regulations. Now, this particular job is very brief. They basically sent me like one line. But I want to show you my approach because, again, this is how I work by way of an independent contractor. So it's really between me and the client. There's no middle person, aka a talent agent who's going to take a 10% commission on this gig. Now let's back up for just a second. If this is a talent agency gig, I get in my car, I drive to an off-site studio in Minneapolis where I'll meet 2 or 3 employees of the ad agency who, they're the ones that basically picked my voice off the talent agency roster. Now, it could be that I earned the gig from an audition. That could be a strong possibility as well. But I'm the performer, they're the director, so I pretty much have to take direction from them, and the only thing I have to focus on is the performance. I don't have to negotiate the rate. I don't have to do any of the editing. I show up, I do the voiceover, and then I leave hoping to get paid usually within about 30 days net, minus the 10% talent agency commission. Now, that is one way to do voiceovers. The other way is by working as an independent contractor, and I do a lot of this kind of work from the comfort of my own messy studio at home. Now, this particular client, Chris, sent me the script this morning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the script. And what I usually do is I'll send him 3 different takes. Now, typically, it's a good idea to invite clients to either jump on Skype or even on the speakerphone, the speaker of your smartphone, and ask them to just sit in on the recording and provide a little direction. This saves a lot of time from going back and forth, doing revisions via email or text or whatever, just having them on the phone during the session. And by the time the session is completed, maybe they've had some tweaks along the way, but by the time the session is over, they got what they want, and there's usually very little revision work when it's done this way. Now, this particular client, my Stone Mountain Park client's usually very, very busy, and I've also done gigs for them now for 7 years, maybe even a little longer, and they trust my performances. So they don't need to be on the line to direct me. They just pretty much send me the script and then I record. Now, I'll still do multiple takes. I don't just read it once and send them to the client because maybe it's not the right energy, or maybe it's not the right feel, or there's just not enough excitement in the read. I like to give my clients multiple takes because, more times than not, they're going to say something like, take 2's pretty close, but, take 3 is on the money. And even if I've worked with this client for 7 years, I still like to do that. And they like it too, because you're showing them that you're willing to over deliver. And that's a really, really good way to keep a client for life. So, let's take a look at the script. I'm going to go away well, I'm not off camera, but I'm not looking at the monitor, so hopefully this is working. And this is basically a announcement for Stone Mountain Park. Typically before the laser light shows, my voice will come on and I'll do some sponsorship promos before the show begins. And this happens to be Kingdom Insurance Group. So obviously, I need to bring the mic down, even though it's going to cover some of my face, but and the recording software, by the way, that I use is Adobe Audition. I've been an Adobe Audition fan for many, many years. Even back in my early radio years, I used Cool Edit Pro, which was the first version of Adobe Audition. Now, recording software is kind of like driving a car. You have to, a Hyundai Santa Fe Sport isn't going to be a perfect fit for everybody. A Jeep Cherokee isn't going to be a perfect fit for everybody. Adobe Audition's not going to be the perfect fit for everybody. Maybe you're a Pro Tools user. Maybe you like using Reaper or the free software out there, Audacity. Sony's got a good one called SoundForge. But I'm an Adobe guy, always has been, and always have been. And it's just a really, in my opinion, one of the more user-friendly recording softwares out there, and I'm really, really comfortable using it. So maybe I'll do a quick screenshot in the middle of this just to kind of show you what it looks like. But basically, I'm going to record 3 different versions of the read. Now, they're not going to be dramatically different. I'm not going to scream one take, whisper the second one, and, do something crazy and, do like a cynical read of it or something on the third take. It doesn't have to be dramatically different, just different levels of energy. Maybe change up the speed a little bit. Now, remember, this is a theme park announcement, so this one isn't going to be, a standard conversational type read. This is going to be like a PA announcement, coming through the PA system at a theme park. So I'm going to hit record here. And where is it here? And then I'm going to give the client 3 different takes. And you know what? I can't hit record because I'm using QuickTime to do the video. Oh, I'm going to have to cheat and edit it in. Can I play back what I did this morning? Stone Mountain Park. Oh, yes, there it is right there. All right, so I can't run it, or can I run it? Can I run it? I'm pretending like I'm talking to a producer or something. Can I run it? No. Okay, I'm ready to do it now. So I'm going to do 3 different reads of this particular announcement. And then what I do is I'll save it as an MP3, and then I'll email it to the client. Now, it's just basically one announcement, so the file is relatively small, so I don't have to worry about it not getting sent to the client or sitting in my outbox, buffering or anything like that. But if you're doing multiple takes for a client, or it's a relatively large project, I would recommend using like a WeTransfer or even like a Dropbox folder to send to your client. If it's a really large file, the last thing you want to do is be sending files that are like 30 megs or higher. But this one is just a straight shot, one announcement, 3 takes. So this should be relatively safe to send regular email. All right. So kind of 3 different feels. They like some excitement because, again, this is going to be coming out the PA system at the park, Stone Mountain Park, that is. So here we go. Stone Mountain Park would like to welcome Kingdom Insurance Group to the Laser Show Spectacular. Pretty conservative read, maybe not, not super energetic, but take number 2 is going to go something like this. Stone Mountain Park would like to welcome Kingdom Insurance Group to the Laser Show Spectacular. You can kind of hear that coming out of the PA speakers a little bit more. The first one probably didn't have the right kind of energy, in my opinion, but this is why you do multiple takes before and then send them to the client. Don't just record once and send it to them. And by the way, that's the way you should handle your auditions too, because whoever the voiceover buyer is, they're going to appreciate the fact that you did multiple takes. You're giving them more than one take to consider. All right, here comes take 3. And this is the take. Take 3, I kind of like to change up my register a little bit. So I'm going to speak a little bit more from my lower register for take number 3. Stone Mountain Park would like to welcome Kingdom Insurance Group to the Laser Show Spectacular. Sometimes they use that take at the park. It's a little more kind of like a football announcer, football PA announcer. It's got a little more depth to it. So there you have it. There's 3 different takes. And if I, maybe a 4th one would be, usually I'll do 3 takes and send it to the client. But if I wanted to do a 4th take, maybe I would just make that maybe super caffeinated, like Stone Mountain Park would like to welcome Kingdom Insurance Group to the Laser Show Spectacular. And imagine this, of course, coming out, just booming out the PA system there in Stone Mountain Park. Now, this particular gig, all I have to do is send them the reads. I don't do any of the production. I don't add background music. I don't add any kind of sound effects. This is where it makes, this is what makes it easy for us as voice actors when clients just need our voices, because more times than not, somebody is producing it on the other end, which makes it very easy for us. Now, obviously, I love production work. I do a lot of demo work for talents, and I do have a flurry of clients who want the full production. That means I have to open up the multi-track screen in Audition and add some background music and a sound effect here and there. And basically, at that point, you're more than just a voice actor, you're also a producer. And by the way, you can get a little more money that way too. All right, so that is a wrap on the takes. I was going to do a screenshot, but given that I'm doing this video through QuickTime, it kind of messed up my audio a little bit. But again, the recording is done. So basically, I'll hit Save As in Adobe Audition, and then I'll save it as an MP3, and then I'll label it with my name. I'll put Terry Daniel _ SMP for Stone Mountain Park, and then the name of the sponsor, just to keep things nice and tidy and organized for the client on the other end. Which, by the way, is a good tip. You never want to send a file that isn't labeled. Sometimes it gets lost in the shuffle. It keeps both parties very organized if you label your files. And by the way, when you're sending your auditions in as part of being on a talent agency roster, your talent agent is going to demand that you label the files. So you definitely always want to pay attention to protocol there. All right. I hope that was kind of fun and helpful. Again, this was a gig that got sent to me today from a very loyal client, which would be Stone Mountain Park in Atlanta, Georgia. They're terrific people, easy and fun to work with, and again, a gorgeous place to visit. All right, that's it for today. I'm Terry Daniel, voice actor and coach from Minneapolis. Have a great week, everybody.